Hello and welcome to Complete Hire Equipment WRFL Round 6 preview. Andrew Wilson here along with Pepe Cavalieri. We return to the regular season football after the interleague break where both the under-18s and the senior men went down to the Goulburn Valley Football League.
Yeah, disappointing day for the WRFL. I mean, certainly a competitive day for both teams, but in the end, fairly comfortable to Goulburn Valley, sort of running away with it in the second half. The senior game in particular, I suppose, was a much better display than what we'd seen in recent times from the Western region, which was positive from our point of view, no question, but just couldn't quite click into top gear, I think was probably a good way to describe the way the game panned out. And then when they did, unable to take their chances, I think 4-14 was their final score. So bad kicking, bad football, Willow. Yeah,
it certainly is. All right, let's look ahead to Division 1 in round 6. Albion take on Sunshine. You think the Kangaroos will be too strong here?
Yeah, I think so, although Sunshine haven't been playing incredible football. You would imagine they'd be too strong, but Albion at home, they'll give themselves a chance after a week off to a bit of soul-searching, try to find some confidence. You never know.
Yeah. Hoppers Crossing, they're 7th place at the moment, need to defeat Pointe to really get their top 5 chances back on track.
They do. They should be able to, but it's quite remarkable how even this Division 1 is, and you've got St Albans there above them as well in 6th. So big games every week. Hoppers Crossing must win. I expect them to, Willow, and they should.
And Altona take on Caroline Springs.
I would imagine Altona, but again, it's a big game for Caroline Springs as well because they're sitting in the 5 at the moment.
Great start, isn't it?
Yeah, at 3-2 so far through their first five weeks. So they're playing some decent football and a good challenge for them. Yeah,
and an interesting game this one. Spotswood 4th take on the 6th place St Albans.
So St Albans have been probably the surprise packet of Division 1, you'd say, this year. Their form's been really, really good. So absolutely every chance to beat Spotswood if they show the form they've shown through the first 5 weeks of the season. But I expect Spotswood at home just to edge them. Yeah,
I'm going to go for Spotswood in that one. And the final game of Division 1 is Werribee Districts taking on Deer Park, 3rd versus 1st. This is our match of the day, Saturday on 88.9 Win FM. Tune in from 1:30 for all the action. This is going to be an interesting game, this one, isn't it, Pepe?
It really is. We love it down at Soldiers Reserve, one of our favourite venues to call from in the caravan, certainly. It should be a terrific game. Not exactly sure whether the likes of, say, Andrew Panay will line up after he was in injury last week from the Interleague. I suppose that's why some clubs don't like to send their players. There's always the risk, and hopefully that wasn't too serious, but he didn't take any further part after half-time, Andrew Panay, the goal sneak. So, well, I've been going on this rule all year that I learnt off you over the past few years. Don't tip against Deer Park, but for some reason, my sheet in front of me here, I've highlighted Werribee Districts on their home deck. I just think the Lions don't tend to peak until later in the season, so I think the Tigers might be a chance.
Yeah, well, I'm going for the Lions because I don't tip against Deer Park. Division 2, Manor Lakes take on Yarraville Seddon.
A big game for Manor Lakes. Got to try to find some form. 1-4, not reflective of the play they've been producing so far. Yarraville Seddon haven't quite hit their straps either. They're in 3rd though, 3 wins and 2 losses, and they're just starting to hit their straps though. So the Eagles for me, but it really wouldn't surprise if the Storm caused an upset.
Yeah, Eagles to me as well. North Footscray take on West Footscray. Only 1 win between these two sides to start the season. West yet to salute. Can you see them getting their first win this week over North Footscray?
Well, for all the improvement they've shown so far this year, consistency's been their problem across 4 quarters, and 0-5 isn't a great reflection, I suppose. It's not a great reward for how well they feel they're playing, I suppose, down there at Shorten Reserve. Bit of a derby, so if there's any time to get them up and about and potentially cause an upset, this would be it. Huge game for North Footscray if they feel they have finals aspirations. If they slip to 1-5, it'd be dire for their season. Yeah, Devils to me as well. Point Cook Central's 4th take on the 5th side Parkside. This will be a really interesting game. Looking forward to following the scores throughout the afternoon on Saturday. Yeah, certainly, and it's probably between those teams that are probably going to be fighting for that 3rd, 4th spot, both of them. So these games where they're playing the opposition sort of who are going to finish around them on the ladder, most likely, they're very important. So I'm leaning towards Point Cook Central's at home. I just think if they can get it out in the open, they might have a bit too much speed. Yeah, I agree with that. Their run is fantastic. And the final game of Division 2, Windham Vale 1st and Newport 2nd out there at Windham Vale. This is going to be a very, very interesting game. It'll be interesting to see how Newport can go.
against the top side in the competition.
Yeah, not quite the top of the table clash we would have expected at the start of the season, but Newport have been outstanding through the first 5 weeks. As you mentioned, Willow, they've only lost the one game, and Windham, Vale flawless pretty much. 5 wins, 0 losses. So you've got to back the Falcons, but you know, as good as Newport have been so far this year, this is going to be a really good gauge of where they sit.
Yeah, Windham Vale for me in that one. Now, Division 3, Auburn Vale take on the Windham Suns.
You'd expect Auburn Vale to win based on form, but I suppose they haven't been as dominant as you would think coming back down from Division 2.
Yeah.
3 wins, 2 losses, not too bad without setting the world on fire. Windham Vale had a good win last week. Windham Suns, rather, had a good win last week. So a bit of confidence coming back, and they're certainly not out of it at 2 and 3 in 5th. So it's going to be a big game for them as well. I'm on the Cobras just.
So am I. Braybrook, North Sunshine.
Yeah, you'd have to go with Braybrook. I mean, even their form hasn't been great, 2 and 4 through the first. They're one of a couple of teams who have played 6 games, one more than most. North Sunshine, again, a little bit like Albion in Division 1. They're probably the 2 teams that are struggling most so far.
Yeah, Brookers for me. And Norden still undefeated, take on 7th place Laverton.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Norden. It's going to be our match of the day in a fortnight's time when they take on Tarneit, which is what likely to be a top of the table clash for round 7 in Division 3. So I think too good for Laverton.
Yeah, agree. And will the Sunshine Heights be able to knock off Tarneit?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty clear at the moment that Tarneit, along with Norden and then maybe Auburn Vale just below, they're the 3 teams in Division 3 to look out for that are probably going to challenge for the flag, Willow. I think Sunny Heights 3 and 2 sitting in 4th at the moment, so they'll be vying for that 4th spot. I don't feel like they have much of a chance of getting much higher than that. This is going to be a really good opportunity just to test and see how far off they are in the top echelon in Division 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tarneit, and it should set up an undefeated clash in a couple of weeks. This has been the Complete Hire Equipment WRFL Round 6 preview. Good luck to your team this weekend.